just realized I'm going to have to change the title because I didn't edit it to represent the day. Anyway, hopefully you can hear me. I've moved the camera back here just because it was too much nonsense trying to figure out where my camera was. And I need to center myself a little bit. Welcome back. So, I've actually been sat here for maybe the past 30 minutes thinking this through. I didn't want to waste your time with me thinking. And I haven't got the solution yet, but I think I have a way forward. And I want to show you sort of what I did. So if you remember yesterday, we had a bit more here. We were going to, we discovered this every method we were going to use. We were going to use the test being array index minus array index minus 1 being equal to 1, making sure that the difference between each consecutive element was always 1. The difference between two consecutive numbers will always be 1 if you subtract the smaller from the bigger, if they are consecutive. We were going to use a for loop, but then I realized that the every treats each single element on its own. And so yesterday I sort of paused at the point of recognizing that the for loop wouldn't quite work because every just treats it each one on its own, and I don't need a for loop to do it, if that makes sense. So that's where I ended up yesterday. So today what I've done is I did a little bit more reading on the every method, and I'll show you what I found here. The method actually takes 3 arguments, and so the reason I was thinking to use the for loop was because I didn't think about how the every method sort of knows where it is in the array. Turns out that can actually be one of the parameters. So it takes the value, which is the element itself that's being processed. It takes the index, which is the position of the element, and it takes the array itself. So we'll have access to the array. And so then I was thinking, okay, cool, I could probably do something like this. So I could probably pass in the index and the array on their own, and then sort of still do my subtraction. So test each element by the difference between that element and the element that came before, or the element that comes after if it's ascending or descending. So that's where I was with this, and then I hit another impasse as to, well, that will always be, that's fine, except for the first element. Because the first element is going to come, okay, if array index at 0 is, say, 2, and then it's 2, 3, 4, 5, for a straight 2 minus, there's nothing at array minus 1. So even if that returns null, and this resolves to array at 0, 2 minus null, being we treat null as 0, maybe, I don't even know if that's the case, but 2 will never be equal to 1. And so I sort of got to this point and I was stuck at how to deal with the first element. And so that's where I was. And then I thought, cool, I'll ask AI how it would do it and to explain to me what it does. So actually I first asked AI, so you can see here, I wanted to see how it uses the, this is valuable as well. I wanted to see how it uses the value index and array arguments and explain those. So that was my first sort of prompt. And it gave these examples, which are somewhat irrelevant. But here it shows that you can pass in the value index and array, and it can just test the array. And so that's why I had the idea, okay, I have access to the elements, but I don't know what to do with that first element or the last element, depending on if it's forward or backwards. And so then as I said yesterday, if I can't figure out, I was going to time box it, and if I couldn't figure out an algorithm, I was just going to ask for an algorithm that, ask AI for an algorithm. And so I just asked, okay, how would you test that elements in the array are consecutive? Now, I don't know if it's because of the context, but it suggested using the every method, which at least sort of, suggests, cool, that's, I'm along the right lines. But then what it does is actually, it uses the conditional. So it spat out this, which will check if the array has more than 2 elements, because if it doesn't, then if it just has 1 or it has 0 elements, it is considered consecutive. So that's cool. It just returns true there. But then it also checks that it uses the value and index, which so it uses the value and index, and it actually just skips that first value. So if the index is 0, it just returns true, and so it gets here for index 0, and it just returns true. And so that first element, it just presumes is true, and then for each element after, it then checks if the value that element is equal to the element preceding plus 1, which is super cool. So there's then no need. So I think my daughter may have fallen out of her bed. I just heard a thud. I'm just checking. She's gonna come out. She needs to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Apologies. Yeah, real life out here. She wanted to use the bathroom, so she does this thing when she wakes up, and then she's like contemplating and pacing in her room, and then she'll eventually go. But if you catch her out, she doesn't wake up properly. Just goes and comes and she's in bed again. So yeah. Anyway, where was I? Yes. So then it then tests for each one, and so cool. this is what I'm going to implement. I don't need this first one because we're dealing with the dice roll, so there will always be more than two. So I don't need that first bit, but I can do this for the consecutive test, right? I can do this for the consecutive test. And my function can always just check that that the I don't want to have this, so I'm gonna make this array. I'll say array. I'll say array. Cool. Yeah. So I'll always bring it in and check. I need to check the first element, and then check the elements following. Now, I wanted to have something that deals with it if it's ascending or descending, and that's what this is. Ascending variable was going to be a means of checking, and then I'd effectively reverse this if it is a descending one. So this one obviously is ascending, and I'd use this, and then if it's descending, I'd effectively test from the top, and so I'd use array.length sort of thing. But I just thought, actually, because I don't really care about the order, I don't really care about if it's ascending or descending, I can just flip the array. So if it's ascending, then it's fine. I'll use this. If it's descending, I'll serve this a flip of it. And I think I can do that. I think there's a method that that flips the order of elements in an array. And as opposed to searching for it or using Google, I'm going to ask AI. Reverse. Numbers that reverse: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, so again, this is the thing, is what I'm learning about learning coding is it's not so much as important to like learn the specific things, but rather to have an understanding of what you can do. And so I've seen this somewhere, in going through, and I think we talked about this earlier. You see, like I must have seen this somewhere, like in on the side like this, or somewhere in array methods, and seeing it somewhere here and go, okay, I can do that, or I can do this. I must have seen it somewhere. Obviously not here. Array sort methods, I most likely would have seen it. Maybe I've searched for something and I saw an array sort method, and I've seen a reverse, and just at the back of my mind, I've seen it. I know it can be done, but I've never used it in that instance. But then you come through, and again, this is also, I guess, the usefulness of AI, is you can just ask a simple, specific question, and it gives you a useful answer. I could have Googled it and probably would have found the same thing, had to go on Stack Overflow or something like that. But AI just allows you to circumvent some of those. So yeah, array reverse, and it's as simple as that. So I am then going to use that here. So if array at 2 is greater than array at 1, oh wait, hold on. Yes, because I'm always using the middle, because the first or last might not actually be part of the straight, especially if this is a small straight. So I'm always using the one in the middle. If the array at 2 is greater than the array at 1, then it's ascending. And if ascending, then I'm just going to call check for straights. So return. So if it's ascending, then return R consecutive with the array. Oh, sorry, with R. Yeah, because we're getting R. So I'm slightly concerned that that's not showing as being used now. Because I'm using the R consecutive. So I would have thought, unless I didn't use it right. Else if at the middle array at 1 is greater than array at 2, so if this is greater than that, then if it is part of a straight, it's it would be descending. And so return consecutive R dot reverse. Is it dot reverse or is it dot reverse? Reverse. Okay. So I might move this outside. Yeah, I'll move it outside. And I don't need this variable. You're stray, aren't you? Yeah, you're stray. I think you're stray. Okay, so So now I need to do a second run of things without the first or the last element. So I want to nest an if in here. So if it's ascending, then instead of returning that, if it is consecutive, then return true. Else yeah, so I'm gonna pop. It's pop, right? It's pop. Basic methods, I think it will be under. So I want to, pop. Pop. It removes the last element. Okay. Okay. And then pop. It's doing the exact same thing. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm testing for if it's, so I've decided it's consecutive. It's ascending. Is it consecutive? If so, return true. If not, then else if. I'm going to pop. Does it mutate the original though? It does mutate. It does mutate. What I mean by mutate is, so we've got our array here, fruits. After popping something, fruits itself is changed. Unless I handle that another way. So if I was instead to say So if I was in there to say here that you guys can't see, I've got the Grammarly thing on being annoying. Okay, so if I was to then say here that const pop fruit is equal to fruits dot pop no, because fruits dot pop returns the thing and then fruits itself gets changed. And shift does the same. So what I actually want to do is I want to create a new array. So I'm literally just going to ask for a method to create a new array from an existing one that includes all of the thingy except that one. Yeah, I'd have to spread it. Okay. Oh, I could do that. Okay. I could spread it into and then pop. Okay. Okay. Alright. So I like this. I like the spread it into a new array and then pop. So so if it's ascending, then if it's consecutive, return true. Else if actually I might need to use a slice. Is this getting too complicated though? I might just create like a bunch of so I can just do this, right? We've got array. I'm going to say const so reversed array is equal to array dot reverse which I don't think will change the thing. const popped array will be equal to array will be equal to thread array shifted array. I'm going to do the same thing, is equal to array shifted array dot shift and then const reversed popped array is equal to first array and alright, so these are going to be my sort of options. Let me just check. Dot pop. What does shifter do again? Array dot shift. Yeah, but it does return so the new fruits array is sans, that first element. Okay, cool. Alright, so I have an array that gets manipulated into the reverse, a popped version, a shifted version, a reverse and popped, and reverse and shifted. So if it comes in and it's ascending, I'm checking, is it consecutive? If it is consecutive, then return true. We're done. If it's not, then is it is the popped version consecutive? If so, return true. I really want to shift this on a switch statement, right? Switch statement, in case JavaScript. Yeah, no, it's not a switch statement. I might get thinking to refactor this after the fact. But yeah, cool. So if it's ascending, then if it's consecutive, return true. If it's not, is the popped version consecutive? If so, return true. Else, if the reverse of the shifted, if the shifted, alright, it's consecutive, return true. Reverse, does reverse mutate I as well? Okay, reverse is the original, so I'm gonna have to do something similar for the reversed. So the reversed array is, I'll spread the array into it, and then I'll just say reversed array dot reverse. Yeah. And I will reverse it. Yeah, so that the original sort of array is untouched. I reversed it, and then I've popped the reverse, and I've shifted the reverse. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay, so if it's consecutive, return true, else if it's not consecutive, return true, else if it's if it's popped, return true, else if it's shifted, return true. Okay, so then if it comes in and it's actually not ascending but it's descending, then I want to do the same thing here. But I want to use the reverse stuff. So is the reversed array consecutive? And if the reversed array is not consecutive, then is the popped reverse array. Yeah, I should have named this popped. I should change this to a popped reverse array. And I should do the same thing here. I should change it to a shifted reverse array. I think that better describes it. Just the reverse array that's been shifted, the reverse array that's been popped. Yeah. So is the reversed array yeah. Yeah. So if the reversed array isn't consecutive, is the popped reversed array consecutive? If not, is the shifted reversed array consecutive? And if not, then I need to update. Oh no, I just need to say then return false. So it comes in, it's ascending, none of these are true, then it's ascending, none of these are true, I want to return false. Yeah, because it will either be ascending or descending, or not a straight. Yeah. And I want to do the same thing here. So it's coming, it's not consecutive. Yeah. Then I might not need this, I think. Yeah, I might not need that last else. I won't need that last else. No, I will need else, because then if they're equal, then it's not a straight anyway. Yeah, so else. Okay. So if it comes in and it's ascending, let me check this. Is it consecutive? Is it consecutive? Is it shifted? Else it's not consecutive. If it's descending, is it consecutive once we reverse it? Once we pop the reverse, once we shift the reverse, that's false. Or it's neither ascending nor descending because it's equal, then we just return false because it's not. Okay, cool. I think this is that then. So check for straights, so we'll come back either true or false. I'm going to move this into the function. Right? Yeah. And then alright, so let's go back to our prompt now. Okay, yeah, cool. So we're gonna have to do some updates. So our update radio options. Let's see. Update radio options takes the. Where's my update radio options? Index and the score. Cool. So. Alright. So if it's a large straight, update the 5th radio button, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So index 4 with a score of 40. So if it comes through and the original one is consecutive, then I don't need to return true. I don't need to return true. Because check for straights doesn't need to return anything. I can just do the thing, so I can jump out with a return, but then I'm just going to update 4 with 40. And if not, and I'll do the same thing here, by the way. So can just return. And then I can update with 40. Wait, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And jump out. And then if it's thingy, then I want to update the fourth radio button underscore 30. So then it's for these two. Three 30. I'll come back to you. Because if any of these are true, then what we're dealing with is a small straight. And then if they're not, then it's 5 and 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So else then 5, 0 else return 5, 0 else return 5, 0. Let's see. It should enable the fourth radio button. Set the value 30 and update the display text. Oh wait, why have I got this twice? Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, let's see, what's the text for house do? Text for house. That's the updates. thinking that's all. Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. I'm going to see if AI can figure out what's wrong. Okay, so let's see. The R consecutive function, that's correct. Yeah, of course, because you gave me that one. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I don't need this. Mm. Okay, so I still don't. I don't need this. Because I'm not checking for that. Okay, I'm gonna copy this and then so actually I'm going to save that. I'm going to say AI debug. Yo, I've been here an hour. Stress. Is this one? Go away. This one. That's what the AI gave me. I'm going to say so what I ended up with will be this one. Okay. And then I'm going to replace everything because I've got my pseudocode and it's just taking up space with this now. So let's see what it does. Right, so I don't need this because why did it change this? So array at 1 minus array at 0. I don't need this. I don't need this because if we look at my original thing, yeah, apart from the first, I always just need it to be equal to +1. I don't need that. And keep that. Yeah. Now, if we go into this, again, I don't need this because I'm not testing if it's, I don't care about the array length, it will always be 5. But I am checking, is it ascending? And if it's ascending, again, that's not, I don't care because the first part of the array might not be true. So actually, I'm going to stick with my ascending as well. I should test this though. I mean, I feel like I know this is going to fail. Yeah, which is fine. But I want to say, again, I want to use the middle. I want to use is ascending array at 2 is ascending is true if array at 2 is less than array at 2, 0, 1, 2 is less than, yeah, if it's a straight, it'll always be less than array at 3. Or greater than array at 1. Then it's ascending. If it's ascending, sorted array is spread. If it's not ascending, sorted array is reversed. Okay. From 40 to 30 if it's still failing. Alright. I wish I had solved this and then this would have been a waste, but it's not waste, it's just not the solution. I'm gonna update the title to say as much so you don't waste your time watching it. But yeah, cool. This didn't work out. I'm gonna try and figure it out tomorrow. Gonna get some sleep.